Hey guys, how you doing? I just kind of wanted to do a State of the World of Tanks Union address using a backdrop of this Tier 10 Polish heavy 2 games consecutive. Trying to get a win with this tank. And I have another video I think I'm going to do that talks about not getting rewarded for doing the little things that help you win the game. For those guys who do try to do those things that win the game, rather than just play along and go the same direction as everybody else, the lemon train thing, and those guys who sit back and rack up damage. This is more going to showcase guys who absorb damage. In my examples, if they rewarded guys who get shot at, focus fired, bounces more, I'd be one of the not meaning to brag's not my style, but I'd be one of the statistically best players in this game. Because I get shot at and focus fired so much, it's unbelievable. And it's extremely difficult, as I've said in other videos, and showed in other videos, to get anything done when you're the object of hate and just shells flying your direction. It's very hard to get anything done in this game. But I would argue that you should be rewarded for this. If you're the object of hate from the other team, you should be rewarded for that, because if they're focused on shooting you, if their attention is to aim at you and get you out of the game, out of the match, that means they're not aiming at other teammates, other of those people who are on my team. Right, so I kind of keep them safe by being the object of the hatred, the object of the shells flying all my direction. Why aren't they rewarded for that? Right, and I've argued this in the forums a long time ago. Why isn't that rewarded? Like, if you look at a sports analogy, let's say football. Does the enemy team, does an opposing team focus on a lineman, let's say an offensive lineman, as much as they would a quarterback, if they're trying to, draw up a game plan to win the game? No, they're gonna focus on, okay, how are we gonna how's the defensive team here going to focus on preventing the the opposing quarterback from doing his thing, from being successful, picking our team apart. Conversely, if you're on the offensive side of the ball, let's say we got because we want our quarterback to have the time and space he needs to pick the opposing team apart. Let's focus, say, on that linebacker who's adept at, sacking the quarterback. Or let's focus our game plan on the not only execution of our offensive game, but on stopping that on that linebacker from getting anywhere near a quarterback. That kind of thing. And I use that analogy because that's what happens to me. Like, for instance, I detest artillery. I absolutely detest them. Most good players do. But why do they detest artillery? When other guys say, "Oh, artillery's not a problem for me," I've never heard them say that. Why isn't artillery a problem for you? Okay. And artillery is so overpowered in World of Tanks. It always has been, and even more so now that they've made the reloads quicker and the accuracy better. Artillery can have such a impact, dynamic impact on your team, your team's success or failure. That it's ridiculous. Actually, it's so overpowered. They need, they were promising for years to fix artillery, and people left in droves because they never did it. And when they did finally revise artillery, they made it even more powerful. They made them faster. They made them more accurate, cheaper. I think it's ridiculous. So those the good artillery players, they not only know where to shoot, they know who to shoot. Right? It's not a very big community. They know who to shoot, who to focus fire. In other words, they know that that quarterback is going to be their prime focus, right? You take time and space away from that quarterback. Or you put on the opposite side of the ball if you prevent that linebacker from running havoc and keeping us from executing what we want to try and do on the offense. So why, if I'm getting focused so badly, and you can say, well, I've heard all the excuses. Well, it's because you're in a TD. It's because you're here in the top tier, Polish head thing. It's because you're at the front. It's because I've been pinned at the back. I mean, the very back of the back, with everybody on the team that was left on the team in front of me. Happened to me in a Gordy. I've driven to the back. If you watch my videos, I don't play from the back at all. It's not my style, but I've driven back there and pinned back there. Can't move. Because they're so interested in taking me out of the game first. Then they focus on me. And that's why, if you watch my videos too, I could do this all day, every day, multiple videos, where as soon as I'm gone, my team collapses. Well, what's the reason? The reason for that is now they got other people to shoot at, right? All those guns that were aimed at me are now free to shoot at other people on the team. So this big problem with this game, I'm gonna go into it more on why I stopped. I think next video or two coming up. I have a garage video series I'm gonna do, where I show what's in my garage, and so I don't know, newer players might. I don't know if that would be interesting for anybody or not, or anybody care to watch it. But I have a large collection of tanks, so I'm going to go through them piece by piece, stage by stage. But I also have a video that I want to do of why I stopped playing World of Warships. And that World of Warships mentality, it's always been in World of Tanks too, but it's getting to a point where I have given up on World of Warships. There's a couple of reasons for that. I don't want to go into that video right now, but the same type of things that turn people off World of Warships, the gameplay wise, they're taking over and destroying the experience in World of Tanks. You're so dependent in this game on what your teammates do or don't do to help you. So the guys who are interested in winning, who want to do the kinds of things that other people may not be willing or have the skill to do in order to win the game, why aren't they rewarded? Instead, it's they're not in this game. It's the camping, lemming train, you know, not move, not care about an objective. That's the crowd that gets rewarded. The guys who just say focus on damage and could not care less about whether they win or lose. They're not here. Maybe they've given up on worrying about whether they win or lose. They just want to rack up damage. Maybe they're smarter than me. Just figure this game out. But I just can't get past this. I can't be that selfish player. And the selfish player in World of Tanks and World of Warships gets rewarded. The guy who couldn't care less about his team. The guy who doesn't understand a team concept. Who doesn't understand the things or care about the things that you need to do in order to win. Another thing I've noticed about this game is, as I said in the last video, I switched from the EU server back to North American server, only to discover there was no difference in really the style of play or the skill level. But what I have noticed is the number of players on this used to be called the North American server, now they just call the USA server. Playing mid-morning and early afternoon, my time, at tier 10, and the games were populated by bots. It shouldn't be surprising. I predicted this years ago and was mocked by, on the forums. Whether from wargaming had bots there, just or just wargaming employees with, there's some guys on the forum who had less than 1,000, less than 100, less than 100 multiplayer matches. But they had 100,000 posts. 90,000 posts, over 100,000 posts on the forums. These guys are telling you that you're wrong. They were never able to debate, any issues. They were never able to say you're wrong because of this and give you evidence. So in other words, they could never debate when you brought up a point. That was true because what? Because of what you were saying was true, what you were saying was going to happen. So I brought this up years ago. This game keeps going the way it's going, where you don't listen to customers, and you're putting greed ahead of everything else. The ultimate no, I'm not talking about profit. Of course, these are companies who want to make a profit. I understand that, but greed is different. Right. When you're ignoring what everybody's saying about your product, and you're just focused on the greed part, then this game is going to predicted amongst other things that the game would be populated by bots, and I said this when the player level was very healthy on the console. This was many years ago. But it's a truism, right? And not just the game industry, any type of business you want to talk about, where they don't listen to people, customers, and they're so focused on just doing the same old, and greed takes over. And what happens to that company? Well, they disappear. I'm not saying wargaming is going to disappear, because I I'm really excited about what I see from wargaming in this new game, Cold War, Project Cold War. How it's going to come to PC, from PC to consoles is, you know, nobody knows. It remains to be seen who, what, where, when, how it's going to be done. Sorry, but if what some of the reviews are talking about in Project Cold War, and your tanks being agents, and also what they talk about is your progression in the game is less dependent upon it's dependent upon what you do in the game, right? If you're playing the objectives, if you're doing what you're supposed to do, you get rewarded. So it's less dependent on your. In this game, if I'm focused on the objective, let's say it's an encounter battle, and I'm playing the objective, I'm not getting rewarded for that. It's the guys who are completely ignoring the objective who get rewarded. Well, if this new game is the complete opposite of that. The reward system is changed so that it's based on what you do rather than what your teammates, your selfish prick, couldn't care less teammates do, who have no idea what an objective is, who have no idea what a team is, who've never been in a fucking fight in their life. Why should my success be dependent on those idiots? Right, like it is now in this game. I've the matchmaker just talked about this in other videos too. You know, guys, on the forums, when I first started playing this game, the former wargaming employee stated that in a lengthy article, amongst other things, he said that wargaming manipulates every single variable in this game. So when it's putting you into a match, it's not matching you with the algorithm's not just matching you tank for tank, and you know, let's say they have the same number of artillery pieces on both sides, and the same number of heavies, the same number of lights match, blah blah blah. That matchmaking could be done in an instant, right? So why is it taking so long to think about when it's putting you into a match? Well, something else is happening there. See, I get the most block there because I'm focus fire. If you got rewarded more for you taking block damage, seriously, I'd have an outstanding statistical rate. So, but that wargaming didn't want on the forums didn't want anybody to see that. They banned that. They took that one down, that post, very quickly. I was new to the game at the time. I didn't save it. I didn't screenshot it. I didn't do anything. I really was just excited about World of Tanks coming to console. But I played for about a month, and I realized, hey, everything that guy, that former employee, who said he was a former employee, the EU PC version of World of Tanks, was right. They do manipulate everything. Not just matchmaking RNG, there's thousands of variables that go into every match. They completely manipulate on an individual level. I hope you get what I'm talking about, but you know, so there's that played in the game too, and I talked to in previous videos where Dad did an experiment where he uses his son account and his account. On his account, he has an 48% win rate, and his son had a 50% win rate. He played on his son's account and bumped it up to like 52% or something like that, or a few hundred games, a couple hundred games. His son was only at the tier 4 level. So he did an experiment where he used his own tier 4 tanks and played on his son's account and used his tier 4 tanks and gradually built his son's win rate up from 50 to 52%. But this guy has thousands of games and a 48% win rate. So that your win rate is, what does that mean? Your win rate is controlled by Wargame, not you. The guys who try and sell you on this complete bullshit that you control your win rate, they're freaking lying to you. It's impossible. When you look at the number of variables and you take what that former employee said into consideration, just how everything is manipulated in this game. Matchmaking, the kind of players you get put with, and your RNG, and you multiply that by 30 guys in a match. Right? 30 guys are in the match with you, or 30 bots now. Right? A combination of players and bots. And all those bots have characteristics. So everything's manipulated in this game. And I'm sorry, if you don't think that's true, then I don't know, it's like, I don't know what you believe in. Do you believe in the Tooth Fairy as well, or what? Right? And this is another thing that in the forums they were so quick to shut down. If you question anything about what goes on in this game, they wanted to shut you down and ban you and ridicule, and whether it was their bots or real people. Space some freaking guy at Wargaming just to respond to the forum comment, and they finally just did away with the forums altogether and put it on Discord, and they don't like what they say, the ban Discord. Shut you down from the conversation, I should say. This is so. You know what I mean? The direction this game is going, it's no wonder that it's being populated by bots now. I spent so much time and money into this game, but it's getting to a point where, just like World of Warships, you can't tolerate it anymore. The Super Conqueror was kind of benefactor of being close to me this whole game, because I got shot at. He didn't get shot at. He doesn't get shot at here until I have videos on that too, by the way, if you want to check them out. But who's interested in shooting? No, they shot me, they got me. They're not even looking this direction anymore. They got pressure from the other side, so they're not even looking over there anymore. Big game. And he does well. And we get the win, which I appreciate. But here's another example of what I talked about in some of my other videos about where the safest place for you to be, unless you get accidentally splashed by artillery, is right beside, because you won't get shot at, and you can rack up some good damage like this guy did here. So I appreciate the win, which I don't mind. Right? I'm just thankful for wins, because wins are so hard to... This puts me on such shit teams all the time. It's nice to be put on. Believe me, it feels good, and it doesn't happen often enough to be put on a good team once in a while. So I'm hoping, I'm excited about... This guy's just gonna finish off this bastard here. And I'm looking forward to Project Cold War, because if your progression is not tied to your teammates, so strongly, and you can play the game the way it's supposed to, intended to be played, and flourish and get rewarded, progress, sign me up, as I said. Sign me up. I can't wait for it. Hopefully we're not disappointed with that one too. Another wargaming ripoff, but hopefully won't be. So this Conqueror, Super Conqueror did really well, thankfully. And if you watch the game, boys, thank you for watching, and appreciate you watching the videos. Thanks for coming back.